Life in small-town America moves slowly, like a river that knows no rush. Everyone knows everyone, and secrets, well, they don't stay hidden for long. This is the story of a boy named Eli Turner from Willow Creek, and the mysterious lantern that changed his life and the lives of everyone around him. Hey friends, before we proceed, don't forget to like the video. It really helps. Hit subscribe and tap the bell so you never miss the next one. And if you know someone who'd love this, go ahead and share it. Thanks for the support. You're the reason I keep making these stories. Eli Turner was 12 years old, full of energy and endlessly curious. He lived with his mom, Linda, and his little sister, Abby, in a small white house at the edge of Willow Creek. His dad, a soldier, had been deployed overseas for nearly a year, and Eli often felt the emptiness of his absence. Every evening, Eli would sit by the porch and stare at the forest line across the creek. He loved stories, especially the ones his grandmother used to tell before she passed away. Stories about the mysterious lantern that hung deep inside the woods. According to her, the lantern only appeared to those who were lost, and it never burned out. Most kids would have dismissed it as an old folk tale, but Eli believed. One chilly October evening, Eli was walking home after helping Mr. Jenkins, the local store owner, stack boxes. The sun had dipped low, and a fog was rolling in from the creek. That's when he heard it. A whisper. It wasn't clear words, just a gentle hum, almost like a lullaby carried by the wind. His heart pounded, and against all better judgment, he followed the sound into the woods. The deeper he went, the darker it became. Branches clawed at his sweater, and the air grew colder. Just as he began to feel afraid, he saw it. The lantern. It hung from an old oak tree, glowing softly, not like a fire, but like a heartbeat. Warm, welcoming, alive. Eli reached for it, but before he could touch it, a voice spoke. "Not yet, Eli Turner." Eli froze. From the shadows stepped an old man, his face partly hidden beneath a wide-brimmed hat. His eyes shone like polished glass, reflecting the lantern's glow. "Who are you?" Eli stammered. The man smiled. "I am a keeper of things forgotten, and you, boy, are not here by accident." The old man introduced himself simply as the keeper. He explained that the lantern was not a toy, nor a decoration, but a guide. "This light," the keeper said, "reveals truth. It shows people what they most need to see, though not always what they want." Eli was skeptical. "So it's like magic?" The keeper chuckled. "Magic is just a word folks use for things they don't understand." He placed the lantern gently into Eli's hands. The glow grew brighter, and in that light, Eli saw something that made his throat tighten. His father. Not as a soldier, not in uniform, but at home, laughing, holding Abby in his arms and sitting at the dinner table. The image faded, leaving Eli trembling. "Why would it show me that?" he whispered. The keeper's eyes softened. "Because you've forgotten hope. And hope, Eli Turner, is the first thing you need to find." The next morning, Eli told his mom about the lantern. She brushed it off with a tired smile. "Sweetheart, it was probably just a dream. You were up too late again." But word travels fast in small towns. Soon, kids at school were whispering about Eli's ghost lantern story. Some mocked him, calling him Lantern Boy. Others dared him to prove it. Even his best friend, Mason, looked unsure.
Come on, Eli. Everyone knows that's just an old tale. Don't let them get in your head. But Eli knew what he had seen, and deep down, he felt the lantern wasn't done with him yet.
The following week, something strange happened in Willow Creek. Mrs. Caldwell, the librarian, claimed she saw a soft light guiding her home after her car broke down. A fisherman swore the lantern appeared to him when his boat nearly capsized. People started arguing. Some believed the lantern was a miracle. Others thought it was just kids' tricks or swamp gas. The sheriff warned people to stop wandering into the woods at night, but curiosity spread like wildfire. For Eli, the whispers only grew louder. He knew he had to go back.
One frosty evening, Eli and Mason sneaked into the woods together. Mason was reluctant, but Eli insisted. When they reached the oak tree, the lantern was waiting, but this time its light was dimmer, flickering as if struggling to survive. The keeper appeared again. "Two hearts tonight," he said, eyeing Mason carefully. "One uncertain, one brave. But courage alone is not enough." He gestured to the lantern. "To keep its light, one must face truth. Mason, step forward." Mason hesitated. Then, in the glow of the lantern, an image appeared. His parents arguing at home, voices raised, faces full of anger. Mason's shoulders slumped. I don't want to see this." But the keeper's voice was firm. "The lantern does not lie. It shows what is, so you may choose what will be." Mason's eyes watered, but Eli placed a hand on his shoulder. "You're not alone. We'll face it together." The lantern brightened slightly, as if approving. News spread quickly. The lantern had been seen by children. Adults grew divided, some angry, others fearful. Then came the storm. One night, a violent thunderstorm swept through Willow Creek. Power lines fell, streets flooded, and panic gripped the town. In the middle of the chaos, Abby, Eli's little sister, went missing. Linda searched frantically, shouting her daughter's name, but the storm swallowed her voice. Eli knew where she had gone. Deep down, he knew it. Abby had followed his story. She had gone to the woods. And so, lantern or no lantern, Eli ran.
The rain was relentless. Lightning split the sky, and the forest seemed alive with shadows. Eli stumbled through mud and branches, his heart pounding. Then, through the storm, he saw it, the lantern's glow. Abby stood beneath the oak tree, shivering but safe, her eyes wide in wonder. "Eli," she whispered, "I wasn't scared. The light showed me the way." The keeper appeared once more, his cloak dripping with rain. "The lantern protects the innocent. But remember, Eli Turner, its light is not yours to keep. It belongs to all who seek truth." The storm began to calm, and as Eli led Abby home, he realized something. The lantern had not just saved her, it had saved him. In the days that followed, Willow Creek changed. Neighbors who hadn't spoken in years began helping each other repair storm damage. Arguments quieted. People shared food, warmth, and help. It wasn't the lantern itself that changed the town. It was what it revealed. The truth that people needed one another. Even Mason found the courage to talk to his parents, to tell them how their fights made him feel. Slowly, things began to heal. And Eli no longer doubted. He didn't care if some still mocked him. He had seen the lantern's light, and he knew its lesson. The truth may hurt, but it also heals. And hope, even in the darkest night, shines brighter than fear. In the days that followed, Willow Creek changed. Neighbors who hadn't spoken in years began helping each other repair storm damage. Arguments quieted. People shared food, warmth, and help. It wasn't the lantern itself that changed the town. It was what it revealed. The truth that people needed one another.
Even Mason found the courage to talk to his parents, to tell them how their fights made him feel. Slowly, things began to heal. And Eli no longer doubted. He didn't care if some still mocked him. He had seen the lantern's light and he knew its lesson. The truth may hurt, but it also heals. And hope, even in the darkest night, shines brighter than fear.
One evening, weeks later, Eli returned alone to the oak tree. The lantern still hung there, glowing softly. The keeper was waiting. "You've done well, Eli Turner," he said. "The light is safe because you chose to believe. But remember, faith is not about seeing. It's about carrying the glow within you." Eli nodded. He wanted to ask 1,000 questions, but before he could speak, the keeper raised a hand. "One day, you will not need this lantern, because you, Eli Turner, will become one." And with that, the old man faded into the shadows. The lantern's glow dimmed, then vanished, leaving only the quiet rustle of leaves. Eli walked home under the starlight, a calm smile on his face. For the first time in a long time, he felt whole. One evening, weeks later, Eli returned alone to the oak tree. The lantern still hung there, glowing softly. The keeper was waiting. "You've done well, Eli Turner," he said. "The light is safe because you chose to believe. But remember, faith is not about seeing. It's about carrying the glow within you." Eli nodded. He wanted to ask 1,000 questions, but before he could speak, the keeper raised a hand. "One day, you will not need this lantern, because you, Eli Turner, will become one." And with that, the old man faded into the shadows. The lantern's glow dimmed, then vanished, leaving only the quiet rustle of leaves. Eli walked home under the starlight, a calm smile on his face. For the first time in a long time, he felt whole.
Years passed. Eli grew into a man, and though he never saw the lantern again, he carried its lesson everywhere. He helped his community, cared for his family, and shared hope wherever he went. People sometimes said Eli had a glow about him. They couldn't explain it, but in his presence, they felt lighter, stronger, seen. And maybe that was the keeper's secret all along, that the lantern wasn't just a light in the woods. It was a light in the heart.
So, dear listener, remember this. When life feels dark and heavy, and the path seems lost, look for the lantern. Not in the woods, but within yourself. Carry it kindly, share it freely, because hope, like light, was never meant to be hidden.